We're going to be answering our questions, your questions, and all the questions about the Boston Celtics here on our mailbag version of Celtics Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and I'm not just on YouTube. No, I'm on every social media platform out there that is appropriate. With that being said, I am on Twitter as well. Follow me on X. I'm not calling it, I hate X. Follow me on Twitter. The OGs know. I post the latest Celtics news, Celtics memes, Celtics highlights, and the first 10 people that follow me will get a shout out on our next watch party, which will be the NBA Finals on June 6th, 1 week away. We are playing on Thursday of next week. So hit me up on Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. I know you guys DM me as well, telling me how much you love the channel, how much you love the Celtics. I'm okay with that as well. I'd love to talk with you guys off of YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter. Go ahead and give me a follow. Boston Bob coming in here with a huge question that I was talking to Smitty and I was like, I feel like we don't really appreciate Jrue Holiday enough on this show, which is unfortunate because Smitty and I both really appreciate Jrue Holiday. Hashtag Celtics, what does Jrue need to do to be a factor in the finals? Jrue Holiday, if they play the Dallas Mavericks, may have the most important job on the floor. One of the most important jobs. And that would be guarding Kyrie Irving. And that's going to be a very tough task there for Jrue Holiday. I cannot express how smart Jrue Holiday is. His basketball IQ and his court vision continues to amaze me every single game. The number one thing that Jrue Holiday needs to focus on is defense and continue doing what he is doing. Constantly stealing the ball. He's constantly switching off of screens. He makes the job a little bit easier for the Celtics on defense, but he's also been a huge treat to the Boston Celtics on offense as well. We saw him put up a career-high 28 points in this postseason already. He's also been a very sneaky scorer when it comes to around the three-point line. He's not afraid to drive. I've seen him a lot taking ISO balls, dribbling a little bit, and then he'll pull up with a nice power bounce. Or he can also score off dribble, which is extremely impressive here for Jrue Holiday. I think he needs to continue, number one, on his defensive side. That is, switching off screens is what I think is going to be huge here if they do end up playing a team without Kristaps Porzingis, because the last thing you want is a mismatch. So I think Jrue has a huge part in helping the Boston Celtics win the NBA Finals, and I'm really excited to see what he has in store. KW coming in as well, hashtag Celtics. Which finals challenge scares you more? The Wolves' ability to defend every Celtic on the floor, or how hard Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving are to guard for White and Jrue? I'm going to take this from the standpoint of playing the Mavericks because they are up 3-1 right now in this series. It's going to be a lot longer journey for the Timberwolves to make it to the finals. So with the Mavericks, I am very scared of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, as I should be. They are two of the best ball players still left in the NBA. However, you do have two all-defensive players on your front court, on your backcourt for the Boston Celtics here, being able to take them on. I do think they're playmakers. I think they have a lot of resemblance in Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum in our duo as well. I do think, however, I think it's going to be a lot harder for Jrue Holiday and Derek White to guard Luka Doncic and Kyrie than it will be for the Boston Celtics to take on the Timberwolves. And Smitty, feel free to jump in if you think I'm saying anything wrong here. But knowing what Kyrie and Luka can do, not just as scorers, not just as ball handlers, but playmakers, does scare me because there were several games here where I saw Jrue Holiday get stuck on a screen. I saw several plays where Derek White had a mismatch. That just wasn't the best opportunity for the Celtics on defense. And when you've got players like Luka and Kyrie, who we have seen can score from everywhere on the court and make plays that could lead the Celtics here in the dust, I think majority of the time they kept the pace against the Pacers. But I think if you are to play down to Luka and Kyrie, it is going to be a puddle for the Boston Celtics. Smitty, if there's anything I'm saying that you disagree with, feel free to jump in.
No, nothing I necessarily disagree with. I just think that the talk of the matchup between Luka Doncic and the Celtic guards might be a little too ahead of people. Like, people might be thinking too far ahead. Jaylen Brown guarded Luka Doncic in the regular season, and I think that matchup with him being a stronger player to have to move past and have to try to get shots up over and to have to try to back down into the paint. Jaylen Brown will likely be the primary defender on Luka Doncic, and I think that's going to be a great matchup. I think there will be times when Derek White gets moved on to him, maybe even Jrue Holiday gets moved on to him, but I think it's kind of a mismatch for Luka, because Luka's taller than those guys. He's more filled out than those guys. He's got bigger mass. So I personally think that Jaylen Brown's going to have to carry a lot of that responsibility. Then White and Holiday will be tag teaming on Kyrie and Luka there. So it's going to be a tough defensive matchup no matter what. These are two of the best shot makers, clutches players, just carry on your back type of guys in the NBA. It's going to be a tough defensive matchup no matter what, but I think Brown is up for the challenge.
I think he is too, and of course, just like the Celtics, those are not the only resources the Mavericks have, being Luka and Kyrie. Of course, they got Washington, they got Gaffer, they might even have Lively back as well, so it's going to be a full team effort here, and I do think the Celtics are trying to prepare for both outcomes right now while they do have to wait to see who they'll play. We are live for every single Celtics game this postseason, including every single NBA Finals game as well, but after that, once season's over, we'll have a live show just like this, just like we had every week throughout the offseason. So go on ahead and hit that sub button for it if you guys have not already. We currently have 31,300, and we currently need 700 more to reach 32K. Thank you guys so much for all of your support so far. If you haven't already, hit that sub button. Help us grow this channel, as this is the #1 source for your Celtics information on YouTube. Hello? Smitty?
Who's that?
Who's that? Smitty's burner coming in saying, will Porzingis play in the NBA Finals? #Celtics. This is the biggest topic surrounding the Boston Celtics heading to the Finals. I do not think Kristaps Porzingis will play Game 1. Maybe not even play Game 2. The beauty of the Finals, though, is that there are 2, sometimes 3 days in between these games. It's not a one-on, one-off type of thing that they just dealt with in the Eastern Conference Finals. Do I think KP will play at some point in the Finals? Yes. Do I think he will play Game 1? No. But we will keep you guys updated here on Celtics Today by Chat Sports. That's why you guys subscribe. Any update we get on Kristaps Porzingis, we have it right here to give you guys the latest. Drew Cash coming in as well. Y'all ready to face Kyrie Irving? And do you have as much disdain for him as the rest of Celtics fans do?
Kyrie Irving.
I'm here now. My bad. I thought it was just a typo. But Kyrie Irving, I hope that's exactly what he is doing. I have not forgotten about the stomp on Lucky's face. The stomp, the twist, and the wipe on Lucky's face. I think Kyrie Irving is a baller. I think he is a theatrical type of player. He will come into TD Garden and try to take over it because that is the type of player that he is. He also has the skill set to be able to do so. So I think while as much Celtics fans you show disdain to Kyrie Irving, because I don't think that was the best spot for him to be, that was not the best stop at all. But I do think that the Boston Celtics have to shut him up for Celtics fans. With that being said, let me tell you real quick how you guys can rep the freshest gear in TD Garden for the NBA Finals. We are 1 week away, and if you guys want the latest merch, this is the shirt, if I'm not mistaken, that the Boston Celtics players were wearing after they clinched the Eastern Conference Finals title, beating the Indiana Pacers, when they're all standing around, spraying Bud Light, spraying all their stuff. It's a fresh shirt, man. And I understand it's gray, it can be sweating sometimes, but hey, it's why you wear undershirts, it's all good. Plus, in TD Garden, you don't have to worry about sweating. So, with that being said, right now, you guys can go get your Celtics Eastern Conference Finals shirt for 2024 by going to chatsports.com/CelticsECF. One more time, chatsports.com/CelticsECF. That's how you guys are going to be able to get this type of merch. You can wear this to Patriots games. You can wear this to Red Sox games. It does not matter. Wear it to your favorite Boston outing by getting your Eastern Conference NBA shirt right now. Oscar coming in, #Celtics. Do you think Hauser will turn it around in the Finals? I hope so. Holy cow, I hope so. It's unfortunate because a player like Hauser, I do think that he has limited himself to very few skill sets in the NBA. I do think he's a very sneaky good defender. I have learned to not hold my breath when he is guarding a defender because I know that he can get that job done. But when it comes to offense, his only responsibility on the Celtics is to catch and shoot. And if he can't do that, I think he's a liability. Because when he's not shooting, yes, he can get back on defense. And yes, he provides good stops. He's really good at keeping defenders in front of him. But in terms of stealing, in terms of offensive rebounding, in terms of block, not so much. And especially if his offense isn't hitting, I have seen other players that I personally think should get more playing time, one of those being O'Shea Brissett. So I think Hauser will turn it around at least for one game in the Finals. If he doesn't, Brad Stevens is going to have to ask himself a really tough question this offseason. Scottish Cabbage Do you think the C's will win without KP? I do. I do think they will win without Kristaps Porzingis. They went 10-1 without Kristaps Porzingis throughout the NBA postseason so far. They have the resources. They're still just as good. They are a lot better with Kristaps Porzingis, but because they have had so many reps without him now, that I do think KP coming back in is only going to make them that much better. I have the utmost faith here in the Boston Celtics without Kristaps Porzingis, but do I want him back? Absolutely. But there are some concerns. I'm not going to say that I'm going to say that without any kind of worry in the back of my mind. Yes, I am worried about playing an Western Conference team without Kristaps Porzingis. I'm worried about them playing a Western Conference team with Kristaps Porzingis. It's been known that it is the tougher conference, and it has been known that it is a very intense type of play. So my question to you guys is, are you worried about facing a Western Conference team here in the NBA Finals? We knew they were going to come out on top in the East. There's a reason why they had double digits ahead of number 2 in the Eastern Conference in the regular season. This was the script. And now they're done with the Eastern Conference. But you do have a whole other side of the NBA that I think is a lot tougher. Hello? Allie's burner. Should O'Shea Brissett get more playing time in the NBA Finals? That's a great question, Allie's burner. I wonder who came up with this question. You sound like a genius. Yes, I do. And this is what I was talking about. Obviously not like a starter, that kind of minutes, anything like that. But there were times when they played the Pacers that I'm like, I don't want Hauser in. Hauser is a liability on defense and offense right now, and it was not helping, especially when you really had to give your starter some minutes here. I loved what O'Brizzy had to do. I thought that he came in, immediately was rebounding. He put a dunk up there. You had Rick Carlisle saying this guy is going to be good. I think you are mistaken if you do not put O'Shea Brissett in some of these rotations, because there were some rotations, with Sam Hauser included, that were not getting the job done for the Celtics. I would not be surprised if they were in the minus while they were on the floor. I think O'Shea Brissett has earned more minutes. I'm not talking anything crazy, probably single digits, but I do think if you want to give some players some rest, O'Brizzy would probably be one of the first players I would pull off the bench, in my opinion. Boston Bob coming in here. Hashtag Celtics, which bench player are we looking to make the biggest impact? Put some respect on his name. Payton Pritchard needs to do the damn thing. I have loved how PP has grown. I think he has made himself a 3-level type of scorer. I think he's aggressive. He's scrappy. He's fast. I think he could be a good matchup against Kyrie Irving if they play the Mavericks while Jrue rests. Obviously, they can work on that as well. Obviously, it's not going to be as good a defense as Jrue Holiday would against a player like that. But in terms of speed, I think Payton Pritchard has a lot more responsibility than people give him credit for. Not to mention, he can make threes. He can score baskets when the Celtics need a spark. That is something I have noticed. Not to mention a little half-court buzzer beaters here and there is also really good. PP comes in. The second he clocks in, there's no adjustments. It is, I play fast. I play hard. From the minute he checks in to the minute he checks out, PP seems like he's always ready to go. That's who I'm looking at to make a difference off the bench. As always, give me a follow on Twitter if you guys want to talk about Boston Celtics a little bit more outside of YouTube. I'll DM you. I'll tweet back at you. As always, follow me on Twitter. My handle is @ARBarefoot. Go on ahead, show me some love.